A major update in the PS4 and PS5 30-day.
There goes all my games, goddammit.
Have the most
we got DR Mystic.
As to what is happening, why it's happening.
There goes his whole catalog that he
just
spent.
The way that Sony deployed it is causing a lot of confusion.
More like a lot of copium, man. I mean, just look at this man's wall, bro. This dude could not afford for this to happen, man. I mean, DRM PlayStation, how you gonna do me like this, man? I've been collecting for the PlayStation 4 and 5, man. You can tell Mystic, he's so frantic in this video, bro. You can tell this man was probably crying, praying on his knees. Please, Sony, don't push this DRM nonsense, man. I need my physical media, man. You promised me. You said you was nothing like AirPods. You said I could trade my games with everybody. No license keys.
So now it's much better understood. I do want to apologize.
Really?
This was developing a little bit going back to Saturday.
I mean, with a collection like that, you got a cap.
As of this morning, we now have a much thorough test being done by Andrew over on Reset.
That man spent a lot of money on paperweights.
So huge shout out to them for being able to validate and replicate this, because over on the thread discussing this very issue, they outlined what they think is going on. And this
keyword, what they think, not actually what they know. Okay.
Does seem to be perhaps the most plausible explanation so far.
Of course, it's so plausible that, the PlayStation fanboys are using this only answer so they can cope as to why PlayStation secretly pushed this DRM into that update. Matter of fact, even the PlayStation Online Assistant said it. Because if that was the case, then the PlayStation Online Assistant would have said, oh, it said it was done during the March 2026 update. What are y'all talking about? Oh, it's just an AI assistant. Exactly. So if it's telling you that it was done due the March 2026 update, that means that why is this happening now? That just goes to show you that Sony has planned this a long time ago, probably by the time when Marathon came out. And y'all out here giving them a free pass. Oh, Sony, they gonna fix it. It was just a bug, they were just trying to stop people exploiting refunds. You tell me the last time when Sony ever gave a refund to anybody. Okay? As soon as you start the game, your refund is null and void. What are you people talking about? How can you exploit something like that? You play the game for less than a minute. You start up, you look at the starting screen, and Sony says, you're not eligible for a refund. And y'all out here saying, oh, that's what they was exploiting? That sounds like a load of baloney.
Is happening. So to preface a few things, another correction, PS Plus Extra and Premium licenses want a check-in every 14 days, so it's bi-weekly instead of monthly. The 14 days is still a very crucial element at play here for what is going on. So the thing to bear in mind with how licenses work on PlayStation is that when you buy a game on your console, you will have what we're initially doing with the testing is like, okay, how do we speed that up? Well, the most natural thing is to remove the CMOS battery because that's the...
Yeah, and guess what? It still did not work. What do y'all don't understand, man? They practically resetted the console, took the CMOS battery, and you guys out here saying that they faked the videos, even though most of these people did them live. I mean, come on, man. This is capping at its finest.
The console, you can always change that in system settings.
There you go.
If you want to truly connect and handshake with PSN and have that proper clock, which validates your trophy timestamps and also crucially...
Look at that. You got several people showing y'all, and y'all still saying, oh, it was a mistake. You went from a bug. You got Dreamcast Guy 2 telling you it's a security issue now. You people can't even make your minds. And the funny thing is you guys got a problem with us saying something, but at least we're looking at what people are doing in regards to doing these testing that they're doing. And you guys out here trusting Nib, Trust Me Bros, predominant PlayStation fanboys, just so you can continue to cope.
Validates
unbelievable
your ownership of your content. You need the CMOS in there. So removing that and keeping the console offline, rather, that is what's going to speed up the process and for us to see...
Okay, so I have a better question. So what happened if your CMOS battery dies and PlayStation no longer supports the online? It's still the same thing. At the end of the day, you don't own your game. See, that's what you're not understanding. Just like with Dreamcast Guy 2, who doesn't play online? These are the excuses that you guys are making. It's not the fact that you can pay for online. It's the fact that you are tethered. You need the online to play the games that you people have purchased. What do you guys don't understand? You guys sit there and talk about how we build physical game collections and stuff. So why would you want a game dependent on PlayStation being online just so you could use it? Doesn't that completely go against what you guys talk about with digital rights management? But yet, when it's PlayStation, it's okay.
Oh, what is the behavior? What ends up happening? So the results were on PS4 and also PS5, because Sony does not show that information on the UI.
Why would Sony have to worry about jailbreaking on PlayStation 5? Why would PlayStation 5 be impacted for something that they're trying to stop on PS4? See, you guys have no good argument. All this is copium at its finest. Even with the proof right in front of you, you guys still want a cap for this company, man. This is crazy, bro.
Timer valid under the information screen.
Unbelievable,
but it does
bro.
still operate in the same way. PS4 and 5, if you were to buy a game immediately and then install it, remove the CMOS, stay offline, it will give you an error. You can't launch that software because you are under a 14-day window. So Andrew is able to test and validate this. There's this window that we're in, right? And that's what's been so confusing, is that people were testing it with games they just bought, which seemed like a very good, proper litmus.
Well, that's the whole part of the update. That's what the PlayStation Online Assistant said. From now on, any future games that you buy will have a 30-day, 14, whatever this man is even saying. I don't even think it matters at this point. We'll have a 14-day, 30-day cycle where you have to sign in to play these games. That's what it said. That's literally what the PlayStation Online Assistant said. Because all these fallacies that you guys are making up saying, oh, well, PlayStation, well, then the PlayStation Online Assistant would have said it. Oh, sorry to hear that. Clearly there's a problem going on in our database. If anything, they told you that was a part of the update.
That's because, hey, I just bought this game, why can't I launch it?
Oh my goodness.
But really what's going on is that seemingly you had to have owned that game for at least 14-something days, because that goes past PlayStation's refund window. So it would appear as though this might be Sony's attempt to get around an exploit where people with jailbroken consoles can pull that license, never download the game, be able to store that indefinite license, go to PlayStation support. They are free and clear to ask for a refund. They get that refund, but they have an indefinite license that populated on their console, and thus they're able to...
So why couldn't they just do this from the website? Why did they have to impact the consoles? That still doesn't make sense. That still doesn't make sense. What are you talking about, bro? See, that's what I'm saying with these guys, man. If you gotta go online to request his refund, PlayStation, the system should be able to show, okay, this man's out here exploiting it. We're gonna limit his account, and we're gonna limit this particular console for exploiting our database. And they could have just denied him a refund automatically. This is a terrible argument, man. Terrible.
Still continue playing the game.
Terrible.
That seems to make the most reasonable sense so far as to what is...
It's only reasonable because it's PlayStation. That's why.
Likely going on. So there was that weird window, right? In that we actually needed some testing being done for somebody that didn't know about this issue and bought a game between, early April, late March, around that area when this was deployed. Having that game go past 14 days, and then what ends up happening, apparently, and people are already coming in, testing this and showing that it does work, is that you are given the permanent license. So the C-bomb situation is still active. It's still showing the incorrect time on PlayStation 4, and this is seemingly a new thing.
It still doesn't matter, because like you said, if the CMOS battery dies, remember, it's a battery. Batteries don't last forever, so even if the CMOS battery dies, there goes your games. So you regardless of what you people are using as an excuse to say, well, it's not the update, it doesn't matter. It just goes to show you that everything that you have purchased is tethered to the online and the CMOS battery. Plain and simple. That's why you can't unlock trophies without being signed in online, like I was on PS4.
Which is, you can't immediately buy a game and then keep your console offline. You are going to have to work past a 14-day window and be able to pull your proper permanent license that you would be guaranteed by just being online with a primary console. Just for the clarity's sake, that's not a game that I could, in theory, attempt to refund because there's no value tied to it. Having said that, those are games that are owned outright, so I at least wanted to test that. I know this is not the perfect test, but I still decided to test these games. So Wrath of Aeon, I never even... It's going from, Saturday and Sunday, and even before that, I'm like... some people are saying, well, I can still launch these games. So it's interesting. That's where
some people are still having these problems. And the funny thing is, regardless of what you guys are saying, I've had the problem with my PlayStation 5 Slim disk drive, and the disk drive didn't want to take my CDs after like 4 months. So you guys still can't explain that. You still can't explain this whole CMOS battery. Regardless of it, it just shows you that your physical purchases are not protected unless you are online. That's all we want to hear, bro. You guys talk about how you want to play these games in the foreseeable future. So how are you going to be able to play these games regardless if it's a 10, 14-day, or what you say, a permanent license? It doesn't matter, bro. It should be permanent the day I bought it. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, they're trying to do that to stop Refund. Okay. Don't you got to go on their website to do that? Sony is so incompetent that they couldn't stop them the second, third time that they exploited that. They console ban everybody else for doing stupid stuff. You trying to tell me they couldn't console ban that behavior? Come on, bro. We ain't believing this.
The confusion came in, and it's not confirmed, obviously, but it's their end for an exploit that people can heavily abuse. And it does still mean that if this is something that's permanent and it's here to stay, then in theory that means you sort of always, with your digital games, have to work past a 14-day window and be able to handshake with PSN that one time to get your indefinite license, which is how it should always be, obviously. So that might be a compromise or something, but this is also an issue that is like, it's so particular that, like I mentioned earlier today, I don't expect PlayStation to make a formal acknowledgement or openly discuss this. It might just be something that they deploy another firmware, they just show the proper time on PS4, or they just don't say anything. But at the very least, I think it's important for us to get this out there and let it be better known that this probably is what's going on. But if this
it's not probably, because the PlayStation 5 still has DRM. I have a PS5 detachable disk drive. I didn't use it for 4 months, and it stopped reading my disk. And the only time it started working is when I put it back online. Then it was able to take my disk in. Same thing with my digital games. My digital games weren't even working. And I had owned those games for months. Even before this little 14-day cycle that you guys keep using as an excuse, bro. I mean, ain't nobody want to hear this, man. It is DRM at its finest. They all have DRM. It is what it is. Those physical games that you have on your wall, they're nothing but paperweights. Stop investing all your money into these companies, because at the end of the day, they truly don't care, bro. From Xbox, PlayStation to Nintendo, including Steam on PC, it's all DRM. I understand that you feel the need to have to defend it, because look, you got thousands of PlayStation 4 and 5 games on your wall. You know, he couldn't afford to have this happen to his catalog. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Mystic, what is it? DR Mystic over, he could not afford that. Trust me. You know, with all the money he spent in regards to PlayStation, it's DRM, man. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Like I said, take care. Peace out.